Boattrack, a division of NTS, suppliers of inexpensive UK and international vessel tracking. This short video offers you an overview of using our software and an introduction to some of its features. To better follow this demonstration, using your browser, type in www.boattrack.co.uk. Once the program is loaded, click on Demo Map. Note, the program offers you two different types of screen, one designed specifically for smartphones, the other for computers. We will use the computer screen for this demonstration because it shows more features. Clicking on the image will load the program for us. We will start this tutorial by using some of our test motor vehicles because it is easier to demonstrate features using them. Don't worry, we will deal with marine-specific items further on. Viewing the main computer screen, you will see there are many things to play with. As you can see, this screen has two main areas. The map screen, on the right, and over here the object area. Objects are the items you are tracking, such as vessels or vehicles. Note with the phone version of the program, these two screens are separate and not combined because of the smaller space. If you hold down the left mouse button, you can drag the map around and put it where you want. If you go across to the Objects box, you can click on a vehicle's name and it will take you to where that vehicle is on the map. In this case, this one is in the Channel Islands. Select another, say the Cherry Picker, it will take us to near Croydon, where that vehicle is. However, in this case, you can't immediately see the vehicle because there are three of them bunched together. By zooming in a little more, one of the vehicles immediately stands out on its own, but we are still left with two. If you now click on the two, it reveals the Cherry Picker parked alongside another tracked vehicle. If we now zoom back out, I will show you another way to locate your object's location. If you click on its actual icon, as opposed to its name, this will automatically take you to the object's location and it will zoom in at the same time. You may have noticed this object displays an arrow rather than an icon or symbol of the vehicle. Let me explain why. The icon symbol does not move, but if you use the arrow it will point in the last known direction of the vehicle. To activate this option, click on the menu beside the object and go down to the word Edit. Click on it and as you can see here you can edit each object's own individual settings. On the Edit Object menu, select the icon, then the Show Icon or Map option, and select either icon or arrow. Note while here, you can click on the actual icon to select a different one. There are many other things you can do in this section, most of which are self-explanatory, but for the time being just click Save. So far I have been using the Google Street Map, because people are familiar with it. If you want to change to a better map, click in the top right-hand corner. Here you will find a number of options, depending on the version or the program that you have. Most sailors will want the Open Sea one. We have now switched to Google Satellite View, but it works just the same as the Street View. Here is the Ordnance Survey map, the Bing map, and finally back to Google. At the top of the Object panel can be seen a number of program tabs. Most of these will be explained in the text help files. For now, let's have a quick look at the History tab. Clicking on the History tab will reveal a number of options. The first one is to select the vehicle you have in mind. In this case it is Steve's van. You can then select the data and times to report on. We will select the 5th till the 5th, and then we will take it up until 8 o'clock that night. Now click the Show tab, and it will display the vehicle's route for those specified times. Because the arrow icon in the top left panel is on, it will also show direction traveled. If we now select data points, it will show us the locations where data was taken. Clicking on any of those data points will reveal the time the fix was taken, along with the speed and various other information. There is also a useful little shortcut you can use for quick history reports on an individual object. Go to an object and click on its action menu, that's the 3 little vertical dots. In this case it is a Qatar-based vehicle. Select Show History, followed by any of the preset reports up to 3 months ago, but we will look at today, and the report then shows where the object has been up until the time you run the report. On the left-hand side panel, it will also break it down into time parked and time traveled. Let's now take a look at some of the other many features in this program. We are going to talk about zones. First, I have to tell the program I want to create a zone. Having created the zone, I am now going to draw it. This zone, we will say, is for somebody operating a vessel out of one of the Channel Islands. And they want to put a ring around Guernsey, covering their normal cruising area. They would then also need to set up an event that is triggered whenever that vessel leaves that cruising area. Of course, things might change, and they suddenly find they have to go to one of the other islands. So that zone could be extended to also cover that island, giving them a long-shaped cruising area. As you can see, the drawing tool is quite flexible and you can make it do almost anything that you want. Here is an actual zone set up by one of our customers, which is connected to an event that triggers an audio message every time one of his fleet goes into the London congestion area, thereby saving him a nasty surprise. Let's now turn our attention to how to create an event. If you go up to the settings, that is the icon that looks like a graphics equalizer. Click on that, and you will see a tab called Events. Click on it, and you are on the Event Setup screen. At the bottom of this screen, you will see there is a plus sign. If you click on that, it will allow you to create your event. As you can see, there are many options, many of which you can read about in the text help file. First of all, we need to select the type of event, and as you can see, there are many of them. At the bottom you will notice the ones we talked about earlier, that you can use to give a warning when you enter or leave a zone. The event we will look at today is overspeed. Having selected overspeed, we now have to decide who it is going to apply to. We can select from all of our objects. Or we can say we will go for one particular vehicle. Having selected that, we now must set the speed at which the event is going to be triggered. With the speed set, we can now decide how we are going to be notified. The option System Message means a warning will pop up on the screen in the program. Let's accept this one. There are various other ones you can select, such as sending an email when the event happens. You can also see that you can change the color of the icon when it happens. That's a basic event setup, but when you test it, if you are not happy with it, you can come back and modify it and try different options. Always remember that you have to save it before you leave the program. While we are still looking at the vehicles, let me show you one last little trick which you may find useful before you leave your mooring to drive home. If you click on the traffic light symbol, and assuming you are in the Google Street Maps, it will allow you to see traffic in the area around any of your icons or you. The program is showing that there is a problem on the southbound A3 near Portsmouth. Worse still, further down the A3 we can see the road is actually closed. Zooming out allows us to see alternative routes and decide if there is a way around the problem. When you have finished using this feature, all you need to do is click on the traffic lights to turn it off again. To close this tutorial, let's look again at history regarding vessels and why our tracking units work differently to standard automobile trackers. Here is a vessel track as plotted with a normal car tracker. It will update every X number of seconds, or maybe when a certain distance is covered. If we zoom in for a closer look, you can see the vessel appears to actually cross the land and rejoins the water on the other side. Simply because the unit is designed to report in based on distance or time, and fills in the gaps. Here is the same vessel's history as shown by one of our units. The difference is obvious, and this is because we use both time and distance covered reporting. But we also report when you tack more than a few degrees, also if you have a large increase in speed. This is even more obvious when you look at a mooring. This is a standard auto unit, and this is with one of ours. As you can see, using all 4 parameters makes a world of difference. That concludes this short tutorial. Remember, if you're stuck, clicking on the help icon at the top of the screen will take you to the help file. If you cannot find the answer there, you can email us for help 7 days a week. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.